Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning about the advanced features of Canva. And I came across this really beautiful template on Canva and I'm absolutely in love. I'm going to be using it to illustrate advanced features I'm going to be talking about today. Now keep in mind that I'm currently using a Canva Pro account for this particular lecture. This is to ensure that I'm able to cover all the advanced features in Canva, either paid or free. So please pay attention to the end of this video as it will be really helpful for you, either you're using a Canva Pro or a free account. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to be learning about is how to use rulers and guides. So a lot of people like organizing their work in a certain way, especially if you're just getting started. It is very, very essential that you use all these guides and margins to keep your work in line and in sync. So we already discussed layouts in our previous video, so we know the importance of how setting a particular design in a certain way is very, very important, right? And how can you use guides and rulers in Canva? All you have to do is come to the files part, and under the files part you can come to the settings, and if you click on show rulers and guides or Shift R, you'll be able to see rulers on the vertical and the horizontal axis. And how do you use it? You just drag them down. You drag it down just like this to fit wherever you want to. Now this is especially important if you are trying to arrange your text in a certain way. So if you are trying to make sure that everything is aligned to a particular side of the design, it is always essential that you can use this rulers and guides to find out if it is really in the same plane as you would want it to be. And if you don't want it anymore, all you just have to do is come here or click on Shift R and it will disappear. So I'm just going to uncheck it now, and as you can see, there are no rulers anymore. Another thing under the settings that I use is the margins. Now the margins work similarly to the way the rulers and guides work, but it is a particular frame. So let me show you what it means. So this means that this margin is, let me add another page so you see what I'm saying. So this margin shows that within this particular place there should be nothing outside that is important. So whatever you're designing would be within this place. Now this is if you want this kind of margin. It's not really compulsory, but if you don't want it, all you have to do is come here, like I said, and uncheck it, and it will disappear if you're done using it or you're not using it at all. So another thing I want us to take note of that I love in Canva is the version history. Yes, now with Canva you get to have version histories. That means that if I've been designing and this is not the final thing, and I need to go back to maybe 3 days ago when I edited it and look for a particular thing that I don't have here and I cannot undo to go to that place, all I have to do is click on the version history and I can go to that particular version and restore it if I want, right? So I think this is an amazing feature, especially if you lost a particular element while you were designing. So next we're going to be going over the resize, and this is a pro feature I absolutely love in Canva. What it allows you to do is it allows you to resize a design that you're currently making or you're done making to a particular size you want. So for example, let's say this is a podcast cover for Spotify, and unfortunately this is not the size they recognize for their platform. Instead of going through the stress of redesigning the entire thing, all I have to do is come to the resize and I'm able to resize it to the particular dimension, specific dimension required. So I can either impute the custom size for the platform or choose from the preset. That means all the ones they already have. So if it's just for social media, you can come here, you see for LinkedIn and all of that, and you can resize it. But if it's a custom size, so let's say something like 4x4, all I have to do is click on it, and then I have the option to copy and resize. And what this means is that it will duplicate it for me. This will be the original document, or I'm resizing this particular design. That means there is no duplicate. This will be the original size when I'm exporting. So let's keep in mind that we want to resize this design to stay in this file. I don't want us to move to another font. I'm just going to be picking the resize this design option. So let's see how it resizes. So now that it has resized, if I want to edit it, all I have to do is click on it and probably increase the image to fit what I want before exporting. So you see how easy it is to actually use this feature in Canva. Is one of those features that I absolutely love. Now let's go over to other advanced features in Canva. We're going to be starting with the text features, and this is majorly me. I just highlighted the podcasts, right? And this is where I can change the font. We know how we can increase the size. I think we've gone over that, right? So we know how we can bolden it and all of these things. But what I want us to actually look at is the effects part. So there are font effects in Canva. A lot of font effects. We have the shadow, the leaves, and all of that. And anyone you pick, right, can you see what it does? So it just, anyone you pick, you're able to come here and edit it. Maybe I want the thickness to be a certain way, I want the offset to be a certain way, I want the direction to be a certain way. I can even change the color to whatever I want. I can change it to white if I want, right? So with this said, I can come here and choose any particular effect for font that I want, and here is where I can curve the image, so I can make it curve. So you know all those images that you see that are usually curved, this is where they come to, and then I can adjust this the way I want it to be curved, either like to this side or to the other side. So it depends. And then if I don't want any, I can come here and say none, and it will go back. And if I don't want any of this that I've done, I will say none, and it goes back to the way it was. So let me undo so we can go back to the way it was previously. Okay, now we're back. So for this as well, this was added, this effect was added. So let's check the effect that was added. Outline was added for this, and for this we have neon. So this particular font have two different effects, right, making it really nice combined together. Let's go over to the next part. So I'm going to be going over to any element you bring in. Either you bring in an image or you bring in a graphics, whatever it is. So they are also editable, right? So how do you edit them? You come to this edit, and then you're able to adjust. So you can adjust the temperature, the brightness, the contrast, the white, the blacks, just like the normal way we edit things like photos, right? You're able to edit them. You can even come here and change the color, right, to whatever it is you want, and it will change to that particular color. And then you can edit the vibrance and all of that, and it will look a certain way. So here is where you can edit elements specifically brought into Canva. So as you can see, there are other effects, but we're going to be going over that for the image instead of the element brought in, right? So I'm going to cancel that now, and let's go over to the image. So for the image, we have various options to either flip it a certain way. So we can flip it horizontally or vertically, just like this, right? And I'm going to be going over in details to the edit part. So let's click on the edit. So most people know the BG removal as just removing the image, but let me show you some things to take note of. So when you click on it, you can either erase or restore. So if there is a particular part of the design that is not visible, you want it to be visible, you can always come here, and when it opens up, you can tweak it by erasing. Let's say the background remover didn't really work well and you're not able to get everything out, you can come here and fix it up, and then you can come here and show the original image. So this was the original image brought in for this design, and this is what it looks like now. So You can increase the brush size. The brush size is for, let's say you want this particular cleaner to be bigger. You can come here to increase or decrease the brush size. So now let's go over to background generator. Keep in mind that all these are pro features, right? But nevertheless, we're still going to go in over them so you can see how they are being used. So we have the BG generator, and this will generate a new background for this particular image. So let's see. We're going to say inspire me. You can type in anything you want. So let's generate it and see what it comes up with. As you can see, these are the results it came up with. Really beautiful, if I must say so myself. So I forgot to flip it back to the original image. Yeah, I think this is the original. So I'm going to undo that because we don't want an image generator. So let me flip it back. All right, so now let's go over to the magic eraser. Now for the magic eraser, it's just like that brush feature that I told you about, that if the background remover doesn't really work well, you can always come here and clean whatever it is you want to clean, right? So that is what the magic eraser is basically for. Then we have the magic grab, which I love. So it allows you to grab a particular part of the image. So the grab text is just like the magic grab. This one grabs images. The grab text will grab a particular text from an image. So let's say I uploaded a signboard post, right? Like a signboard post, and what is on it, I need Canva to help me grab that particular text. If I bring it here, I can grab that particular text from the image itself. So that's how it works. Then magic expand is, it helps you expand the image to a particular size. So let's say I want it to be the whole page or a particular ratio 1:1, or I want to crop it. This is where I come to, and it will help me increase the size of the image. Now I think we're all familiar with filters and how they work, so I'm not going to be going over that, but it's pretty straightforward how filters work in other applications. So another part I want us to touch on is the effects. Now under the effects, this is where the outline is coming from. So that pink thing you can see around the ladies was actually an effect added. So let's go over how to use the outline. If you want to use the outline, you scroll down and then you can increase the size of the outline or decrease the size of the outline. You can also increase the intensity as well. So if I wanted to change the color, I'll come here and pick a color or impute a particular hex code here, and to bring the specific color I want. Now if I don't want any of this, like I don't like it, I don't want the outline or other effects, I just have to click on none, and then it will take away that particular effect. So you see all those outlines that they usually add on Instagram and all of that. This is how they add it, and this is how you can add it to your own designs as well. Under the effect, come to the effects part, you see shadows, and then you're able to add it. So we have diatone, which is like changing of the color. We have blur, so a certain part. Now these are free features. The shadow is also free to use if you want to use it. It is not a pro feature. We have the blur, like I said, and it blurs out a particular part of your image. We have autofocus. It focuses on a particular part of your image, as the name implies. We have face retouch. It helps you smoothen the face. So if you were to upload your picture in Canva, you can actually smoothen the face with this face retouch. Let's check it out. So you can increase the smoothness of the skin depending on whatever it is you want. So we can see that this smooth skin was used for this particular image, right? So this is how you work with a particular image in Canva to bring out the best. Lastly, we're going to be going over the newest feature in Canva, which is the fact that you can have multiple sizes of designs in the same file, right? So this is where you add pages. I know a lot of us are already familiar with how we add pages, right? But another thing Canva has added is that if you click on this part, also available for mobile, right? You can add a presentation, a document in the same file. You can add a video in the same file. You can even add a website in the same file and export them differently. So instead of having so many files for a particular brand, this is one tool you can use to create maybe a presentation or so many things you want to design right in the same file, and you'll be able to export them differently. So if I wanted a presentation, if I click on presentation, it will give me the size for presentation. Can you see? So if I was to delete this, now I can create presentation slides in Canva. If I want to change the size, all I have to do is click on this place and go back to maybe clicking on more, and then I can impute this specific size. So guys, we've come to the end of this lesson. If you learned anything in this lesson, please do well to comment. We would love to read about what you've learned. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, like our videos, share our videos, and I'll see you in the next lesson.